What is going on, everybody? AJ Shulo here, going to give you guys a free main event breakdown for UFC Vegas 36. In other words, UFC Fight Night, Darren Till versus Derek Brunson. Before getting into that breakdown, I'd like to let you guys know that this podcast, is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is sponsoring AJMMABetting.com. I'm super thrilled to be working with Prize Picks. It is just simply you versus the site, guys. A very straightforward fantasy site. Basically just like you select props and you select over unders on a projection. There's significant strikes, takedowns, fantasy score. They give you a lot of options, fight time. And so the beautiful thing about Prize Picks is they not only have UFC props, but also props for other organizations, Contender Series, PFL, Bellator. That's rare to see. So, it's a very cool opportunity. Again, you could use my promo code AJMMA to receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100. And again, that's basically just a free $100 to play. They're great people. I've had nothing but positive interactions with them. Endless, great conversations where I'm just super thrilled with how their customer service and just their overall how they operate, is just flawless. So again, great sites. And then now I am for free giving out my favorite Prize Picks props for the upcoming UFC card for free. Again, all you have to do to get those is subscribe to the newsletter at ajmmabetting.com. You'll receive an email automation, one saying thank you for subscribing. You'll receive another one saying, what my favorite Prize Picks props are for the upcoming card and why. I'm not just, going to go out there and just throw out props just for the sake of throwing out them. I actually give analysis as to why I like those props. I use statistics. I use tape. I look at all that stuff, right? So there's a wide variety of ways that I think that the props that I selected work out favorably. And I do recommend that if you are interested in these Prize Picks props, my recommendations in the match, you do so upon hearing this message, because the thing is with the Prize Picks props is the statistic, the over under prop could change as we get closer to fight time, depending on how much action is had on such props, whether it's getting just smashed over, smashed under. You never know, right? So I would recommend, again, the earlier the better, and just letting it go. It's not to say that I'm disappointed in you if you wait. Again, if that's your thing, that's totally cool. But that's just my personal recommendation to get on this. And again, it's not as if you have to sign up for this thing, right? Again, we've got Contender Series next week. We got a little bit of a break with UFC, but again, we've got other organizations in there as well. So again, plenty of opportunities with Prize Picks. I love working with them, and I'm thrilled that they are sponsoring AJMMABetting.com. Also, one other housekeeping thing before we get into the breakdown. I've been posting about it on Twitter. I'll say it here again, but you guys could join the Discord for free. The Discord channel on my website, AJ MMA Betting. All you need to do is click the little Discord icon. You go to the homepage of my website, click away. You'll receive an invite, totally for free to join, and then you could just hang out with us during the fights and sweat them. Or if you want to post during the week, that's fine too. I post my live bets in there totally for free. I just started live betting recently. I do track my live bets. That's on my website as well. So again, if you're on the fence about subscribing, I know that I do give a lot of stuff behind a paywall, but if you maybe just want to, hang out, just talk with us, that's during the fights, that's totally cool as well. But you also will see me post live bets in there as well. And again, people could do the same thing as well. All are welcome. We've got a little over 40 guys in there now. So yeah, it's a good time. I recommend you come along with us if you maybe feel like you want to sweat the fights out with some other guys. So yeah, good times. Again, that's enough with the website going well there, and on to this card. Some general thoughts on the card. I do think it's a solid card. I mean, we've only got 10 fights for this fight night. Of course, unfortunately, we've had some pullouts, but there's a lot of intriguing fights. We've got some good prospects on here. We got Tom Aspinall. Jack Shore is a very good prospect, in my opinion. Paddy Pimblett is making his long-awaited debut. He's got some hype behind him coming in from Cage Warriors. But we're here to talk about the main event, and we have in my opinion, a pure grappler in Derek Brunson versus striker matchup. And whenever you have a stylistic dynamic like that, you typically see the fight look binary. I don't really see too many scenarios where Brunson outstrikes Till. Till's just a much better technical striker than Brunson is. I know that Till gets criticized for his output, and again, he isn't a high-paced fighter. He prefers that his fights be fought at range, and he wants to kind of methodically, pick you apart from the outside, time counters nicely, and then kind of win points or win fights rather by outpointing you and doing damage along the way, which could lead to a stoppage or a damage-based decision. I consider Till amongst the elite of this weight class, and I think that he's proved that, even though he hasn't, or he has only fought a couple times up at welterweight. He fought Kelvin Gastelum. He took Kelvin Gastelum to a split decision. I know that it's a fight you could argue either way, but the point being is that Kelvin Gastelum is a top 15 fighter in this weight class, and Darren Till was very competitive with him. So that shows that Darren Till has legitimate middleweight upside. He wasn't just a guy at welterweight who got by on his size and power, and that's what helped him propel to the title shot. No, he has legitimate skills, specifically with his striking, as we touched on, but more on that in a moment. And even in the following fight against Rob Whittaker, that was a very competitive fight. Whittaker won. I scored the fight for Whittaker. I have no problem whatsoever with the decision. But the point stands that Till was very competitive with the former champ, and in my opinion, the second best fighter in this weight class. It was a 48-47 decision. Till was dealing with an injury in there, which I'll touch more on in this podcast. But the point still stands. If he could compete with a guy like Whittaker, Till is amongst the elite fighters in this weight class. And again, the output is one thing, but he is an excellent technical striker who fights very well at range, has great distance management, times counters perfectly. And he's a very intelligent fighter that makes in-fight adjustments. So while volume is important and I think stats are noteworthy, I don't really see a scenario where Brunson kind of outpoints Till on the feet. Brunson just isn't nearly as sharp as Till. And the way Brunson fights these days, especially, he's not the guy that goes out there and blitzes early on and goes for the quick knockout. He used to be that guy, and then he got knocked out by Robert Whittaker, and that result made him a lot more hesitant going forward. And even since then, he's still not a polished striker. When Brunson closes distance, he does so rather wildly. We saw that in the Israel Adesanya fight when he was knocked down 3 times and then finished in the first round. He just doesn't set up his entries the best. He's gotten better at it through the years, but he still could be caught with counters. And we saw that even against Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland hurt him in round 2. But the thing is, Kevin Holland was overextending on his punches, was leaning into Brunson, therefore making a clinch opportunity for Brunson so Brunson could recover, get the body lock, and eventually take the fight to the ground. But that is legitimately a fight that Holland could have won purely based on his striking advantage. But what cost him there was his fight IQ, his clinch instincts, and, well, most importantly, his takedown defense and ability to scramble off of his back. But you get what I mean. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Brunson here. He's been on an incredible run, but that's his style these days. Again, he's got power on the feet, but I classify him as a grappler. And he's in my opinion the best grappler in this division. He's an NCAA Division II wrestling background. He's also got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got the best takedown offense and defense combined in the division. I know Chris Weidman is up there, but what edges it for me as it pertains to giving the nod to Brunson is he's got much better takedown defense than Weidman. Prior to getting taken down by Kevin Holland, Brunson had not been taken down in the UFC, and it wasn't like he didn't get tested against good wrestlers. He fought Yoel Romero. He fought Ian Heinisch again. So I do echo that sentiment, and that's going to be what Brunson needs to do here. But again, when he goes in to close the distance and try and clinch up with Till, because he'll need to do that to take him down, I could easily see Till timing a counter and knocking him out. And if this fight is contested at range, that should favor Till as the guy with just sharper punches, more precision, better defense, just a more durable fighter of the two, I'd say. I know that Till has been dinged in the past and been knocked out. I do echo the sentiment that his durability is better at 185. I mean, he just was cutting such an unhealthy amount of weight at 170. It was really tough to watch in some of those videos. But now moving up in weight, his durability seems better. He was hurt by Whittaker last fight, but he recovered rather well. He was held down a little bit there in round 2, and that's a concern. But I do think that the moving up in weight, the not as much cutting weight for Till definitely helps with his durability and overall his longevity as a fighter, to be honest. This is definitely a much more appropriate weight class for him. So on the feet, it should look like Till pretty much all day. Again, in theory, Brunson could clip him with something and hurt him, but I don't really see a narrative where Brunson just picks apart Till, out volumes and things like that by just being busier, because for Brunson to throw offense, that's going to leave clear countering opportunities for Till, just because Brunson's defense isn't very good, wide open to being countered. And that was definitely a hesitation I had betting him as an underdog against Holland. This is the type of matchup where that striking defense, or the striking tendencies rather, could catch up with Brunson here. Because if you look at his resume, he struggled against guys like Till, guys with, again, not elite level takedown defense, but decent takedown defense that are able to keep him standing for a long enough time and just basically, snipe him with counters. Israel Adesanya, I brought up that example. Jacare Souza caught him with a head kick. I brought up Kevin Holland last time out, but Holland really struggled with the takedown defense there. But a guy that appropriately fits that, in addition to Adesanya, is Robert Whittaker, a guy with elite level takedown defense, was able to keep the fight upright, and knocked Brunson out in the first round. And so that's the makeup of the striking. Favor Till significantly. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and gets a knockout. And then Brunson's advantage should be to get the fight to the ground. That's what he should look to do. And I think he'll look to do it, because it's clear as day that that's how he fights these days. He goes out there, he's landed at least 2 takedowns in his last 4 fights. He's coming off 2 dominant performances against Shabazian and Holland. And he was able to get takedowns, get control time, and win 5 rounds. And so, yeah, I have concerns about Brunson, the way he closes the distance. But once he closes the distance on Till, I think he can take Till down. Till has good takedown defense overall. He actually stuffed 11 of 13 takedowns from Robert Whittaker. And Whittaker, that's a noteworthy statistic, because Whittaker, we think of him as a striker, but he's actually a very good wrestler, Commonwealth background, also a high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, black belt in that regard, submission grappling. And so that was actually a performance as it pertains to Till's takedown defense that inspired confidence in me that he does have decent takedown defense. It's not that he can't be taken down. He still was taken down by Whittaker. He was taken down by Nicholas Dalby back in the day. That wasn't a good look in round 3 there. He was just gassed and gave up a 10-8 round. He was even taken down by Donald Cerrone there. My concern with Till is, again, good takedown defense overall, but once he gets taken down, he is one of those guys that does give up his back to work to his feet. And surprisingly, that didn't catch up with him against Whittaker, who, as we pointed out, is a good submission grappler. But it might not work every time. Brunson isn't the greatest finisher on the mat, but he does look to pass guard. He does look to advance in a dominant position. He proved against Shabazian that if he takes back mount, he could finish you with ground and pound, inflict a lot of damage. And even against Kevin Holland last time out, he did have an opportunity there to get an arm triangle choke. Didn't happen, but the points still stand that Brunson does pursue the finish if he's granted that opportunity. So Till giving up his back, that is a concern that I have for him going in this matchup, because Brunson is the better grappler. Maybe that leads to a rear naked choke. Maybe it leads to a ground and pound stoppage. Maybe it leads to a dominant round. But that is where the binary makeup of this fight comes, because there's not really any scenarios where Till out grapples Brunson. He's just not a willing wrestler. Mainly when he gets takedowns, they're from caught kicks. And Brunson, as we pointed out, his elite level takedown defense. Literally the only time he was taken down in his career was against Kevin Holland last time out. And it was almost like it caught him off guard, right? After he was dominating Holland for so long in that fight prior. So yeah, that's the makeup. Again, Brunson in the grappling and wrestling, that's going to be his wheelhouse. But on the feet at range, that's definitely going to be where Till excels. And one last thing I'd like to address before I make prediction is the intangibles here. Till is coming on a bit of a layoff here, a little over a year. And he's dealt with a lot of injuries. I'm going to assume he's the same guy that we've been used to seeing. Perhaps he looks a little better. He's closer to 30 now. There's definitely an argument to be made that, with his career progressing, what his age is, that he could get better as time goes on. But I'm saying it is like kind of a precautionary that, again, he's coming in here off of a lot of injuries. And we saw this just last card with Kevin Lee, where maybe, the expectations are set for that fighter and they don't quite win the fight is maybe, or win the fight at all, or maybe not win as comfortably as you'd think they would, based on just feeling a little bit rusty and just trying to, get their feet underneath them before they, sort of build that confidence back. So it is definitely something that Till has going against him here. He is the fighter that's 9 years younger. I do think he's got the better durability. That should help him there. Better striker, as we pointed out. And ultimately, he's going to be my prediction, because when I picture this fight playing out for Brunson to hit his win condition, he's going to have to close the distance. And when he does that, he's going to leave Till countering opportunities all day. And I think that Till catches him with a precise counter, probably a straight left, because that's what he likes to throw the most, and then get a knockout probably early on. I don't see this fight going too long. The longer it goes, I do think that favors Brunson. I trust his cardio a bit more in a 5-round fight. He did slow down there against Howland, but he landed north of 200 strikes in that fight, landed 6 takedowns. Till's just not, going back to the pace thing, Till's just doesn't have great cardio historically, doesn't fight at a high tempo. So, maybe Brunson looks like the favorite if this fight gets extended and he's able to get his grappling going. But stylistically, it seems like a decent fight for Till to come out here and get a knockout, and I'm going to predict him to do so. That is going to be the win method that I'll select for Till. So that'll do it for this main event breakdown. Again, prediction, if it wasn't clear already, Darren Till to win. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. If it's not asking for too much, I would really like you guys to subscribe to this channel, like this video. Please share on Twitter if you'd like to. Feel free to spread the love. If not, it's all good. And yeah, just one last plug again, said it off the top, but PrizePicks is sponsoring betmma.tips.com. And again, that content, the PrizePicks props that I provide through my newsletter are totally for free, right? So I like to give a nice healthy mix of paid content and free content. Obviously, I'm going on here and doing this for free. The PrizePicks stuff is for free. I've got some other stuff in the works that I'm thinking about that I may do for free as well. I already mentioned the live betting that is available for free in the Discord. So I know that not everybody is willing to, and I promise I'm almost done with this rant. I know that not everybody's done or are willing to pay for premium content. And that's totally cool. It's not for everybody. But for those people, I want to give them some options so they, I could, communicate with them to some extent. We could have a good time watching the fights and that sort of thing. Good vibes, good memories, all the best. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and good luck on your bets.